What is up, everybody? You know what time it is. It is Saturday. It's in the afternoon, but it's still always time for your Saturday morning anime super hour. It is the Smash Podcast. As always, we got the usual panel of suspects over here. We got the one and only man himself, Supra Gee. Looks like he's still checking his mic a little bit there. We got Soulking here, Mr. O King.
What's good, everybody?
What's good with you, Soul? Of course, we got Operation in the house.
What's good, y'all? Glad to be back. Glad to have a damn panel back, too. It's been so long.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while since we separated because now we finally got enough Dragon Balls to finally bring this man back to life, get him out of Supra Gee's torture dungeon. It's, Neatha Lee's.
Oh, I'm finally back. And Supra Gee, I got so many goddamn Vegeta memes for you. Just you be ready.
And today's also a great show because we got a special guest, the one, the only, the man who's always going 3 deep, Mr. Triple Cup Chuck.
Man, what's good with y'all? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all having me on there, Knuckles and everybody on the panel. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to get into this these topics. They was nice, you know what I'm saying? The Smash Podcast. That kind of remind me we're gonna be on that Hulk shit today.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. You already know what time it is. Alrighty, so let's see. Starting out though, Nath, I know there's been some drama going on, and I know you kind of want to address it real quick. So what you want to say there, brother?
Oh, what's going on with Twitter?
Yeah, with everything that's been going on, we wanna make sure everything's all good here.
If you're referring to what's going on Twitter, there was someone in our, Xbox community that kind of went out and said some racial slurs, and I myself am choosing to not interact with that said person, and I am just staying away from that whole area. But just so you guys know, I do not condone racism of any kind, and therefore I will not be condoning this particular person and will not be working with them any further.
Exactly. And I understand. And we want to make sure everyone out there is aware is that everyone here, we are a diverse group of individuals of many different cultures and backgrounds. And we always have been inclusive. This right here, our show is a cornerstone for all things nerdy. Don't matter where you come from or anything. We're open and all about love and inclusion. And we don't appreciate the hatred and intolerance that some people have. So we want to make sure everyone knows where we all come from. Now, speaking exactly, you want to say there's something, Soul?
Nah, I really don't know the guy, so I really don't got much to say. I just don't condone what he did. It's pretty assholish.
Yeah. But on the topic of a lot of things right now when it comes to inclusion and not understanding right now, for us especially, there's the ongoing issue with the whole Logan Paul situation. And right now we want people to know about that is what he did. If you don't know, is that he went out to Japan, made multiple vlog videos of him doing stupid things out there, not respecting temples, acting like an idiot in some of the big areas such as Shibuya Station, Shigekuhara, and of course going out to the suicide forest and the stupidness that he did out there. And we want to kind of touch on this a little bit because one, that's going into this topic of people not knowing certain limits or just doing things for shock. And this is one of those things, especially for us, we understand and study different cultures and really appreciate what the Japanese do. But the thing that people forget is that this right here has reinforced the stereotype that Americans and Westerners don't appreciate their privacy, their understanding, their culture, and kind of make us out to be jackasses when there's people who are making big strides to kind of break that idea. But when someone as big as him goes out and does this kind of crap, and it gets as much attention that it does, it got almost 7 million views.
Makes us all look bad.
Finally, 7 million views before it was pulled, and people were still liking the video and supporting him. That's not right. When the fact is that
most of his community is children as well, and I've seen it on Twitter. They're like, "He made a mistake. Don't worry about it. We all make mistakes." I'm like, y'all are just really desensitized.
He made that dead guy famous or something. weird shit. Like these little kids, they need to stop watching this dude. They really do.
It's becoming a meme now. It's sad.
They shouldn't. And the thing about it that really gets to me is the fact that one, he has such a large following already. And with that many people watching the video and that many people liking the video, as well as the jokes that he was saying next to this person.
And he monetized it too.
Yeah, they demonetized it, sure. But the fact is, he made these jokes knowingly next to this dead body, next to this person who was going through so much, and then tweeted it out ahead of time that he has something that was so real and going to be so bomb, and then knowingly put it in the thumbnail and then posted it up. I don't care if he has other people that are doing it for him.
No,
he was still active in that decision.
Yeah, he told whoever edited the video, whoever did all that shit, that he knew exactly what he was doing. He just wasn't being compassionate about that person's.
He tried to play it off saying he didn't know he was thinking, but he took hours to freaking edit a video, thinking about the freaking time of the thumbnail. He had plenty of time to stop this shit before, he just didn't want to.
Exactly.
He picked the best thumbnail that would attract people to your video.
Mm-hmm. It's the worst.
Process.
It seriously was. And not only that, he monetized his apology video. And not to mention every other video that he had where he was openly getting in trouble with Japanese
the locals.
Yeah, with the locals, because he was being an insensitive jerk about it. And that
he get more subscribers too.
Yeah, he got more subscribers from the whole situation.
Yeah, that's shit crazy.
It's one of those things that when, especially here for us as people who appreciate anime and Japanese culture, who try to kind of show that not everything is these stereotypes that people have about what we watch, as well as what the Japanese people are like.
Exactly.
They still have strong stereotypes about the West and Americans as it is. And there's many people who try to go over there and show that we're not all like that. But when you have high profile people like him acting like a jackass like that, it really hurts.
They fit that gaijin mold. They fit that. They really fit it. Like, it's crazy.
And the worst part about it is the fact of that how long it took for YouTube to do something and what it does for the platform. Because one, it makes it harder on us as creators.
Apology about it.
The funny thing about it, YouTube didn't do anything. It was just the community of YouTube that started to attack Logan. And then he decided to take down a video. And then when everybody started coming at YouTube, that's when they put out a statement. They really didn't do anything.
It was a half-ass statement.
Yeah,
what do you think then? What do you think, Neff? What do you think, Chuck?
Well, everything you guys said is, spot on. And, I really do agree with that. But, when someone does something like this, I first began the video saying suicide's not a joke. And yes, it is not a joke. But then he went off and made this man and used him to get, quick buck, to get quick fame. And that's the most disgusting thing you could do. You're disgracing this dead person. You're bringing him onto camera when clearly they just wanted to go in peace or whatever they decide to do. And I just find it absolutely pathetic and disgusting. In my opinion, it is absolutely ridiculous that YouTube is not taking down his channel, because if anybody is parading dead corpses and monetizing on top of that, then their channel should be shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is why content creators are going to Twitch is right at this moment, because we're getting tired of this shit on YouTube. It's hurting all of us.
Yeah, because it ruins the platform that we base, and that's why others look for other means to get around and make it. Chuck, what do you think on this, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a person that the less attention you show it, the people wouldn't be doing that crazy stuff, because they searching for attention, and it's always you gotta one up yourself. So you might be a person that might ride around kicking over dumpsters, something stupid. Then you gotta elevate to then you gotta smash somebody's window. Then you gotta take it one step further. And see, they build their channels off of that, so they always gotta do something just a little bit more extreme than the last time. So as long as people paying attention to people like that, they're gonna keep doing that, because they keep getting attention from them. Now, if you don't pay them no attention, then they're gonna try to find something else to do for their attention. So my best advice is, like, out of sight, not of mind with them.
I mean, I don't know. It's also scary that he's an influencer for young children.
Exactly.
Like, this should never be okay. I mean, I still think it's absolutely ridiculous that YouTube's not even taking down his channel. So they're going to let him continue getting, away with basically a slap on the wrist.
They want that money. That's why.
This isn't a joke. This isn't a prank. This is just humiliating. This is absurd and disgusting. I mean, I can't stand the situation.
And I agree, because here's the worst thing about it is that, one, the Japanese are very private people. Like, especially when you go out there, they're very heavily spiritual and religious, and they believe in privacy. What he did, one, invaded that man's privacy, especially knowing where he is right now. And the fact is that, one, it can ruin what can happen to that man's spirits and their beliefs. And that's harmful in so many different ways, because it breaks so many cultural bounds as well as other things.
I mean, as a human being, how do you edit that, put it together, make a thumbnail, and seriously sit there and think, oh, this is going to be okay. This is okay to upload. I don't know.
This shit's just getting humane now. This is fucking retarded.
I mean, if he just recorded and uploaded maybe up to the point where he said, suicide's not a joke, and he started doing that, I still find that disrespectful. But the fact that he started joking around this body, he started showing it on camera, he made a big deal out of it, and influenced all these children. Because there's even little children trying to defend him, saying this isn't a big deal.
Exactly.
That's messed up.
Just kind of shows to go how desensitized people are to certain things, man. This isn't something that should be ever okay with anyone.
Everything's becoming a joke now. That's the sad part about it.
Yep. Oh well. Let's go ahead and talk into something a little bit more lighthearted, because I think we got our heavy points out of here on our stance on certain things. What you guys think?
Yeah, I think we said everything we could be said about this. He's an idiot. People should not support him. It's sad he has such a big following of kids. Just, it is what it is. You just have to take action against this, but they more likely won't, because it's going to affect their money.
And as Triple Cup said, the less attention we bring to it, the better, because this guy doesn't deserve any.
Exactly. So one of the big things that we know here, especially us, as we've talked about plenty of movies, the last one being Justice League, and how we thought, it wasn't as bad as some people were making it out to be. But apparently to Warner Brothers themselves, wasn't what they wanted. And it looks like they're already giving up on the DCEU. So recently, they just came out with a new interview stating that with what they achieved and what they've been doing, that they just can't keep up and match what Marvel has been doing. They have no ability to build the world and the stories that they've been able to tell, and they're kind of pulling back, especially after making a new cancellation on a project here. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Well, it's sad, but at the same time, it took them long enough to figure out their approach is just wrong. They can't just see what Disney doing, rush out into it and do it.
Absolutely.
And part of the success of Disney is that they have their own Marvel Studios. Warner Bros. Is just Warner Bros. They have a conglomerate of divisions.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to get at. I mean, Warner Brothers are not necessarily just giving up. It's just like they need to form, a new studio. Like, in order to do this, you need something like Marvel Studios to compete. You need their own entity to make their own projects, make their own profit, and basically just outcast and have resources allocated just to them. Also, with that, they're giving up the name DCEU. Apparently, they're just changing it to DCU.
DCEU, yeah.
I don't really get it. Extended Universe was awesome, but hey, that's just my opinion on that. But either way, Warner Brothers
never was.
Strategy. Yeah, I guess it never was, but still.
What you thinking there, Chuck?
Cup, you're really into comics, so what do you think about this?
It's just kind of like they never actually compete with Marvel. They were just trying to ride the hype train and throw out as much stuff and kind of mimic it. But like they really need to do is focus on the individual properties. Like Wonder Woman, make her movie. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have to do the reference. They don't have to do the Marvel thing. Let her do her sequels. Do the Flash same way. Batman and Aquaman just keep them separated. And then once y'all they get some better writers, let the writers come and be able to for another Justice League movie. But for right now, they just can't it's too much for them. They got to keep the individual stories. That's the only way they can actually make it.
Yeah, Triple Cup, and as you're into comics, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the DC animated movies. So it always, blew me away. Yeah, it always blew me away that they have these fantastic animated movies, but they just never adapted them for the big screen. For example, what a better way of introducing Batman to the DCU would be by starting with a movie such as Batman Under the Red Hood or something along those lines, where you would introduce Nightwing right off the bat. You would introduce that Batman's kind of an older Batman at this point. He's had his second Robin, and that second Robin actually passed away, making him grumpier and probably more like the Ben Affleck Batman we saw with Batman vs. Superman, and having him make a little bit of sense. I mean, Robin's even dead in that universe to begin with, so I believe that's a missed opportunity. And with that being said, yeah, what's up?
They don't use logic. They just don't use logic sometimes.
They don't.
Yeah.
They didn't, and you're right that they had a lot of great setup. The thing is, though, they didn't set up everything. It wasn't organic. It was all just kind of thrown together. Because what did we have to set up for Batman when Ben Affleck take over? We didn't. We had Man of Steel that came back out in what, 2008, and then nothing. And then the next thing that we get is immediately Batman v Superman, and Wonder Woman's in there. They didn't set up a Batman movie to show why he's
and that's what I'm saying. What if
they had something those Green Lantern that flopped like a motherfucker?
Mm-hmm. They should have did a Batman movie, and it should have been Batman Under the Red Hood. It would have been perfect.
Wasn't they trying to make a standalone Batman movie?
Yeah, they're doing it after now.
I thought they canceled that supposed Suicide Squad too.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they pushed Suicide Squad back. They put a lot of them on their moves back. Justice League.
Was the Batman standalone supposed to be before everything happened or after everything?
That's a good question.
Before. I think it was supposed to be before.
Well, the movie's gonna come out.
There's too many problems with it.
You talking about like the Batman solo movie was supposed to come out after like the Justice League and stuff?
Yeah, it's supposed to come out after, but that's
where was it supposed to take place? Like, was it supposed to take place when like?
They didn't really say, dude.
There's been no talks on the Batman film on any sort of story. They just stated that it was supposed to happen after Justice League, but now that's up in the air because originally Ben Affleck was supposed to direct that movie. Now he's not even going to do that because now they're waiting to do the Batman movie after the Flash because there's rumors that the Flash is being rewritten to do Flashpoint Paradox and reset.
Like 3 directors.
Even
that movie messed up.
They didn't need to use the Flash to reset up everything.
Flashpoint.
Yeah. Flashpoint.
Yeah.
They're pulling that card too early.
Yeah, because of the fact they're doing it too early because of the fact that they're trying to reset where they've already made their mistakes. They're trying to reset where they messed up
big time,
and it's gonna hurt them because of the fact that one, people don't always know the Flashpoint Paradox storyline. They're gonna add a lot of extra stuff to it because don't forget at the end of Justice League they made the scene where they were teasing Legion of Doom. They haven't.
Mm-hmm.
They could do something.
In my opinion, you should just salvage what you got. Don't reset.
They could do something dope with the paradox because if you remember the reason why Dr. Manhattan is now in DC is because of the Flash, technically. So
yeah.
So I don't know. They just trying to do that though.
They could do something dope. They could do something dope.
It's definitely
they can, but they need to give it time and let it hash itself out. They keep rushing.
They need to sit on this for a couple of years to get their whole plan together.
Exactly, their
time. Marvel's already leagues ahead of them, and they're trying to play catch up. But at this rate, it's not going to happen. So they should just
and then that's why I like what
do everything the right way.
Yeah, but the new head of Warner Brothers, that's why I like what he said. He said we can't be where Marvel is. Like they have to do their own thing. They have to expand their horizons. I know they meant like putting out movies that aren't superhero movies, but I think Warner Brothers needs to get a clear focus, and they need to do DC right. They can't just rush into it.
Exactly.
And the sad thing is, they have all the characters at their disposal. Not like Marvel, most of them are fragmented amongst different companies. They have everything in house, just not using them properly.
Exactly.
And that's right.
Got to worry about catching up with Marvel. Because
exactly.
they don't have to be on the same page as Marvel to make a good movie. All they got to do is come out with a good movie. They can take their time and start from scratch.
I mentioned I mentioned those animated movies earlier, but do you want to know what has a universe, what's working, and on the lowest budget ever? Those
the
goddamn
Arrowverse.
CW shows, The Flash,
Oh, yeah.
Arrow.
Exactly.
It's working.
Because here's the thing, that they've taken the time to plan it out. Because look at what Marvel did. They've been doing this for 10 years. You're not going to make up 10 years worth of movie in less than 2 with what DC tried to rush and do. What they need to do is, one, make the stories for each of the movies make sense for themselves. That's what, when Iron Man took off and did well, and then they did Iron Man 2, they said, all right, we can plan this out. And then that's when they did the Incredible Hulk, and then everything went from there. They planned out the movies accordingly after the success of the individual stories themselves. DC tried to rush into it too headlong. Their animated movies are doing better, because look at the success of Justice League Dark. That's been fantastic. Each of the Batman movies has done well. Son of Batman. You had Batman or the Justice League versus Teen Titans. You had
Court of Owls.
And the Court of Owls. Yeah, exactly. Those
There's only
movies have
one
done
bad
well.
DC animated movie. That was the Harley Quinn one. Do not watch it.
Oh yeah, Batman, Robin,
watch
Harley
it.
Quinn.
I want to
Yeah.
watch it now.
Do not watch that.
But
Hey, did y'all get the killer joke?
yeah, the Killing
that
Joke.
was great.
That's
And that one was
That was
fantastic too. But the thing is,
Except for the beginning.
the animated movies have done well because they're well written. They need those kinds of stories written for these movies, but they're not taking the time to dedicate those to the movies. And that's where they're messing up, because the animated movies all tie together. Because look at, we had Son of Batman, and then we had Court of Owls, and that ties into the ongoing story with Justice League versus the Teen Titans, because we have Dick as Nightwing at this point, and we have Damian Wade along as Robin with Batman, and those keep growing because now we have Damian as the new Robin that's leading the Teen Titans alongside Andrew Garfield, or as with Garfield, who's with Beast Boy, Raven, and instead of having Cyborg, who's a part of the Justice League, we have Blue Beetle taking in and filling that, and Starfire is the teacher. Like, that's a great change up.
Mm-hmm. And even Cyborg's going to join the Teen Titans or whatever, because he was over at that tower. At the end of the movie.
Yeah, he was at the movie because he was one of the former Teen Titans, but he's going to help out with the Teen Titans East. But still, you see that the previous members are there as teachers now, doing their own with the Justice League, but they're still helping grow in the next generation, and it all adds together. That's organic in the way that they built the universe within the animated series. And then even the TV shows have done it. We saw the placement with the Arrowverse, as it's called on CW, that over the past 5 seasons, we've seen the past 5 years of what happened to Oliver on the island, and everything that led up to how, when he came back, he was so set to do what he had to do as the Arrow, leading up to where he is now. We saw the birthplace of the Flash, and when that series started, where his origins kind of were coming into those powers. That's what they need to do, is they need to make it happen organically. When you just shove it all together, it doesn't work.
I think the biggest issue with Warner Bros. As well, this might be a little contradictory, is like they're too involved with their movies, especially like the DCEU or whatever it's supposed to call it. Because from what I heard, like some movies, like they have a plan together, and then it comes like, no, we should do it this way. I think this happened with Suicide Squad at first. It was supposed to be like a more darker tone, but they came back and said, some people like to just like reshoot like 8% of the movie and make it more lighthearted, and they sort of suffer as well. As far as their anime movies, I'm not sure if they're actually involved with those as well. They probably just give them a budget, so just do whatever you want. But I think the issue really lies with Warner Bros. Management, just too overbearing with their studios.
They really are, and the issue was that you're right. They did get too involved in them instead of letting them kind of have that creativity. And as we saw with Suicide Squad, it was supposed to be darker, because the Suicide Squad has always been very, dark, because it's made of nothing but, villains. They do their thing, but they made it too comic-y after the success of Deadpool. And we also saw the same thing with BVS when it had its full-on dark tones, but they tried to change it up after Deadpool. And you got to think, as Chuck, we talked about it on the Vibration podcast, that at that point, Deadpool was very unknown to a large majority of people. He was very B-level if you want to put him on a known character. He wasn't an A-lister like some of the others. And when he outsells your two, A-list, like triple known characters over the past 50 years, you have a problem with the way that you're doing your movies. Because not even that, because they all not only did it outdo BVS, which had Batman, Superman, they also added Wonder Woman, which was also being a lot of teased. Which even though she wasn't still big, she was known through the Super Friends and everything else growing up through the 70s and 80s with those. Because when they did the old Justice League cartoons, she was still there. You had 3 of your best known characters, and you lost out to a character like Deadpool because it's all about the writing.
But I don't know. To me, comedy's never like horrible. If you don't force it, it's okay. Like Wonder Woman had a bit of comedy, but it was also a little bit dark, as you could see with the war. I think it worked really well. Suicide Squad, I don't know how it would have been as a completely dark film, but I'll be honest, I enjoyed the film. It was a hit, and to me, I think the comedy worked.
I enjoyed the comedy, but it's just like some of the interaction scenes were great, but others also had those kind of spots where it's just like, wait, what?
It's the story. No,
I still don't think it was.
I think it was the story and the plot. Like it was just too simplified. It didn't feel like it was no complex. It just felt like it was
I'll
like
give you
summer
that.
blockbuster more.
Yeah, exactly.
But I still don't think it was as bad as they say it was, man. They
It's not. It's really not
bad, bro.
It's not
The worst thing about that movie was Enchantress and her gyrations, bro. That was the worst thing about it.
Hey, but
just
she had
the original cut.
and that random ass guy in the subway, they decided to like take over his body or whatever. I was like, where'd this guy come from?
The boss that squad was the final boss with this trash.
Yeah, it was weird because I mean she had who was it? Rick Flag like right there next to her. Why didn't that thing possess him? It went to like this random ass guy in the subway and possessed him, and then he just came out and just started like destroying stuff. I was just like,
it would have made more sense if, like, say if Rick Flag got possessed. Now they have to be more careful about trying to kill this person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just that didn't make sense to me. I was just like, what the hell is going on?
I miss Diablo, man. He was fucking cool.
How to Get Away with Murder. She was the truth on there. I forgot her name.
Zatanna?
The woman she played the name is at the tip of my tongue. She in the comic books.
Did she Amanda Waller?
Yeah, who you just say her?
Amanda Waller.
Yeah, Waller.
From the movie.
Oh, definitely, man. Perfect cast for her.
She was solid as that character.
And might never see her again.
And people like that, that's how you connect your movie, by having a character like her be in, let's say, the Suicide Squad movie. Then she would have had a role in the Batman versus Superman movie, and you could have drew a connection by her having the same job title and her sticking her nose into business.
She could have been a Samuel of DC.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know DC, that's Amanda Waller, because the fact that with everything that she does with Argus, she has a hand in the government, she has a hand with the Suicide Squad, with her Project X, as well as always getting involved with Batman, because of the fact that she's always having to butt heads with him whenever the Suicide Squad gets involved, especially when they have the Joker in custody. Like
she should have been a thing that tied the whole universe together in all these movies.
Right, like
it should have
been like the Night Nurse is on the Netflix series.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right.
You have that one-time thread.
And I'm going a little off topic here because I've been away for a while and we never got to talk about it. But even when DC does something really good, like what I thought they did with the Justice League was great, it seemed to be hated on. Like, I never got to talk with this about you guys. What do you think about that?
Well, like we said, it was great. It was, and the issue is it was great in the aspect that the fight scenes, the choreography, and the character interactions were really well done. The issue is that, at least for me, is that the way they changed some of the characters didn't fit right. It's like in this one, Batman was not the charismatic and well thought out and planned individual.
He was a pushover in this one, pretty much.
Exactly. And then the way that they mixed the Flash is a mix between Wally West and Barry Allen.
Just choose one and go with it.
Yeah, exactly. Because they took too much humor from Wally West while making that social awkwardness and the stereotypical CS that Barry is. They didn't have him, and he was very kind of all over the place with it. Cyborg was well done.
Spider-Man to me, dude. Like, it was almost like they're trying to take Spider-Man from the MCU and just put him in the DC.
Yeah,
like making him like a kid, awkward and all that. Like, I don't know, it didn't feel like the real Flash I would know.
Exactly. And the one thing that they did really well is I like the way that they portrayed Cyborg. I did like the actor who did Vic Stone. He was phenomenal as Cyborg.
He was phenomenal.
And of course,
people are hating on Cyborg saying they don't know much about him, which is true.
Here's the thing: it's because they only seen Teen Titans. Like when you understand his origin, you can understand why he's bitter and why he's kind of like that.
He wasn't just charismatic and joyful
into the Teen Titans character later on. I think it's a great story arc for him, and that's a good direction they went in.
Yeah, they grew Cyborg into that more after he became comfortable with what he was. He became that more jokey, jovial character that we know. That's his personality, but it took him a while to get established into that role before he was that way.
The dude literally lost like 90% of his body. He's not gonna be happy and joyful at the beginning. Like, no.
Absolutely.
He could have went to the NFL. He was a football star.
He had a life ahead of him, bro. He lost all of it.
Exactly. Because look and the way that they did Vic Stone in this story is very similar to how they did Justice League War, the animated movie. They had the same origin, and he was still the same way. He still had his jokes a little bit here and there, but he was still very heavy-hearted because of the fact that he was still coming to terms with it.
And even at the end, when he said like "booyah," it felt more powerful than him just saying "booyah" like just normally.
Yeah,
you're like, wow,
because he was getting himself together, so it sounded like legit.
Yeah, exactly.
And it felt like, all right, he's more comfortable with himself, so he's accepting it, and he's like, boom, I got this.
Thank God he only said it once, because if he said it more than once, it would have been hard to swallow throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I was waiting for him just to say it once. That's the only. I just needed it one time.
Yeah, but I'm just curious, like, why do you think the critics panned this movie? Like, I generally don't see what's wrong with it. If you gave it 60%, maybe, but giving it like less than 20 or barely at 20, I don't get it.
They must hate Warner Brothers. That's the only thing. They must hate Warner Brothers. That's the only thing I can really talk about. Really.
I think that it deserves some criticism because the story was very.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was very. One, Steppenwolf is a phenomenal villain.
It got shit canned though.
And that's what I'm saying is that it deserves criticism because the story writing was not anywhere to the point of where it would have been great. Because Steppenwolf is such a great villain, especially when you think that he's the lead of Darkseid's army, of his invasion force. Like, Steppenwolf is a strong dude, and he was being knocked around and treated like a punk the entire movie. Like, he had one intimidating scene, and that's when he had all the hostages. After that, and maybe when he even fought all the Amazonians.
And he didn't fight the Justice League until Superman arrived.
Exactly. Like, after that, like, he was just being knocked around like he was nothing. Like,
for me, I'm not gonna try to fanboy too much, but it was really him and like a few other villains these whole like Marvel movies actually take seriously. It was pretty much him, Bucky Barnes, for the most part, and like bringing one other villain I actually take seriously out these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it's almost like the Iron Man 3 effect. You had this very intimidating villain, and they like almost retconned him. Okay, it wasn't as bad as Iron Man 3.
Well, in Iron Man 3, they were showing that it was a man.
Retconned it.
They did what they did and they didn't. If you remember, is that they were making.
Yeah, but they fixed in the DVD. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't remember because I already said a horrible ass movie from my memory.
But what I'm saying is that they made the Mandarin seem to be the focus, and when he did find the guy who was the Mandarin, it was all a joke because he thought it was, that he didn't think that it was a real character. But we do know that the Mandarin is there. That they're actually
but they had to fix it in the DVD. Like, that wasn't their original intent. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, and I get that, but the thing is that there's no way to save what they did with Justice League, even with extra scenes or extended footage. Like, they'd have to do a lot, and part of it is also because of the fact that you could see the scenes that were done by Schneider as well as the scenes that are done by Whedon.
And then the fact that it was a 3-hour movie and they did all these cuts to bring it down to a 2-hour movie, man, that's a lot of movie that's missing, and that could have filled in. Parts that we just,
a lot of people are angry with the whole Darkseid thing, but in my opinion, it's kind of cool that they're doing the Legion of Doom first. Don't follow in Marvel's footsteps. Go in your direction.
Yeah, be more
Darkseid's there, then Steppenwolf, so you know he's around. But the fact that they're doing the Legion of Doom first, I think is better.
It wouldn't matter, dude, because the perception is that you got to be like Marvel. If you ain't like Marvel, you're not cool.
Well, like I said,
that's a Marvel. You're not cool.
Yeah, that's just a perception, bro. Like even the half of these critics and reviewers don't even know the backstory to anything DC. They just know Marvel because Marvel's been put in their face, so they expect it to be just like that. But in reality, DC's a lot darker and a lot real, man. And
it is. And there's certain aspects even within the Marvel where it gets gritty.
Like they were shitting on that movie as soon as the movie started because they seen Superman's partial mustache, like for the bad graphics. But
bro, I never noticed that.
Still,
I still haven't. I
probably didn't notice it until
really
someone told you about it.
You would have barely noticed it if nobody really pointed it out.
I didn't know that shit existed. It's like a week later, people start pointing. I'm like, what? Like, where?
Yeah, I know. I never realized that.
They were shitting on it from then, so that lets you know there was already some kind of
breakdown by like 40 points for these critics. That mustache, we would give it a 30 now. Look at the mustache.
Yeah.
See, like I said, it didn't deserve the 20 that it got, but it definitely was like we said, it may have been an 8.0, but like if it averaged around a 65, 70, or even better, that would have been that.
That would have been better.
Yeah, but the 20 that it was getting from critics was not well deserved.
Hell no. I've seen way worse superhero movies, bro. We ain't gonna even get into that.
Or that cancer movie that came out on Netflix.
Right. But I feel like we should go on to these.
Whoa, bro! Don't be hating.
I don't care. Bright's getting two.
No.
Part
I'm saying like that movie was panned for no reason.
Oh yeah, I was about to say we were talking about that movie got so much hate for absolutely no reason, being called the worst movie of 2017.
They said it was the worst movie of 2017. Like that shit.
It was like what?
Mind. That blows my mind. That's crazy.
What do you think of that?
How's it the worst movie of 2017?
What's your thoughts on that, Chuck?
Oh, you said what's my thoughts on the worst movie of 2017?
Yeah, because they were saying that about Bright. What you think?
Oh no, I like Bright. Bright was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like well, a lot of people don't know this about Bright that it's the Scrolls in the future. Like
Shadowrun.
They did a lot of Easter eggs in there too.
Yep.
People just overlooking the movie and they just saying like, it's a big movie, but it's actually good. The story, I liked it. I don't know why people hating on the movie for.
Yeah, and I like that the movie really dealt with the
critics hating on the movie because I didn't really hear any like regular people like us like hating on the movie. I see more than critics bashing it. I haven't really met anybody that thought anything bad about it.
What was they saying? Because I ain't seen nothing bad about
it.
And they labeled that shit first movie of 2017, bro.
They were nitpicking and being hyperbolic about it pretty much.
They were saying it fails at trying to capture, like, I guess the real world and all this bullshit.
As well as saying that
I don't
the
know.
racism in it was
I literally seen one complaint that they said that the Orcs had too many like football jerseys on. Because remember how you like pull up in the hood and the Orcs had jerseys on? They was like, why do all of them have jerseys on? I was like, is this so serious right now?
Well,
bro? Like,
I don't know. I thought the movie represented minority groups well, and that whole theme of like how they're mistreated just because of who they are.
Yeah.
And
in their history,
I don't know. I felt like the movie was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna say it was perfect. I mean, there's a lot of comedy for me that didn't work or felt a little awkward. But to say it's the worst movie of 2017 is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what me and Op were saying when we was watching it together. Like there was no way it was getting the hate it deserved.
They're just mad because nobody likes their fake deep ass movies that keep getting bombing in the box office every month.
Facts.
I know. I don't see that shit going now.
Speaking of movies at the box office, 2018 for us here is gonna be a bomb year for big heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
We got the biggest one that's coming up for all of us that we're all excited for, Black Panther, in 1 month from now. And so I know me and you were talking about it, that we were seeing that the ticket sales, the pre-sale ticket sales are already outpacing everything before it. It's outdone Civil War, which was the biggest, and now it's outpacing most of the other MCU films combined, dude.
This shit crazy, man.
They also said that the only movie that comes close to this most anticipated anticipation, it was
Age of Ultron, was it?
Infinity War.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Triple Cup, what do you think about that, brother?
I mean, that's amazing. That's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That's on so many different standards, like from where the movie came from, how it got built. You know what I'm saying? How the casting of the crew, how people got it. You know what I'm saying? How people actually taking a black superhero movie serious, because you don't get this too often. The only one that they had was, or the two of them was Blade and Spawn. No, Blade was a superhero movie. They just know Blade for being Blade. So
they
this is like
Blade though. Blade is godlike.
Yup.
Blade is godlike.
And then the Spawn movie was kind of campy. It had its silliness, but it was still great back in the day.
Yeah, it worked.
Oh yeah.
It worked.
It's nothing to be on this level here. Like it's like real recognition of a big old AAA blockbuster movie, like some Arnold Schwarzenegger or some Rambo, just some type of stuff like when way back in the days is on the level of that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I hope this opens for more opportunity for other superheroes who maybe never got their spotlight or people haven't even heard of. Because at the end of the day, if we could expand superheroes to like not just the whole popular ones or just the B-listers, but get those C and D listers to be coming up here.
Exactly, Neff. And Chuck, we were talking about this there on the vibration with you over here earlier this week. Is that with Black Panther getting so much recognition and being such a big thing because we saw him in Civil War, so he already had his show. Everyone was impressed with him back then. Now he's getting his full black cast for all these roles of just talented stars, and you're having the director who is a phenomenal director who's sold big budget movies like Creed is heading the project. We're not getting unknowns like James Gunn and the Russo brothers, who are still phenomenal and what they've done with things like Guardians of the Galaxy, with Winter Soldier and everything else. But we're getting someone who has taken the time and made these really big blockbusters to do such a phenomenal movie of an all-black cast for a massive black superhero that we're talking that this can open doors for, yes, the B-listers and the C and D, the more unknowns, but the fact that we're starting to get more ethnically diverse characters and superheroes out the door, especially when we talked about with Black Lightning coming out next week. Woo!
It's looking hot right now, man.
Hey, what's the director name for Black Panther? I can't think of his name.
I don't know. I always just said the Creed director. I forgot what his name is.
Let me look it up real quick.
Man, speaking of Creed, though, man, that movie is better than the Rocky movie. I'm sorry.
But
Impressed me.
Ryan Coogler, that's his name. Ryan Coogler.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler. He got a point to prove because he didn't get the recognition that he was supposed to get off of Creed. People know, what I'm saying, he directed Creed, but he didn't get his true recognition. Now, this is going to be his real chance to really shine.
And what's amazing is that those who love the Rocky movies, like growing up, like I watched all the Rocky. I watched the one that they did back in what was like the early
4 and 5.
Yeah, and the last one that they did before they did Creed, which was great. Like Michael B. Jordan is a phenomenal actor, and what he did with Sylvester Stallone in that movie was so heavy. It was so phenomenal. Yeah, it was special, dude. It was a different level, and I loved it because it still
I've seen that movie twice now,
and it still gets me every time. I love that movie. It was so great. And he did not get the recognition, definitely as an outstanding director that he should have gotten.
He's going to get it this time. He's definitely going to get it this time.
Exactly. This one, he is going to knock it out of the park with everyone that he did because one, he's bringing Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger, nonetheless, and knowing how he acts, like he's the perfect person to play Killmonger.
And they're saying his inspirations come from the Joker.
About them changing the origins of Killmonger.
I mean, Killmonger's had Killmonger's had several different origins, even from the comics. Like, it all depends on which one they're going to go with. But I still think, knowing the dedication that's going into it, I'm okay with it. Like, they've made many changes through all the movies.
This is nothing new. Yeah, it's nothing new for the Marvel universe.
Yeah. And that's
to me, it looks like he's more of a rival, which I kind of like. But as I said, he's actually taking his...
They said his origin, he's like an ex-Marines, and he never was from... he was never from
Wakanda.
Oh, no way.
I don't know
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's garbage.
How you guys feel? He's like an ex-Marines type of guy.
I don't know about that.
Trash.
What did he?
Like I said,
grow up in Wakanda? Like, I don't know.
The way they were showing the previews.
That's just the previews. They could be misleading. But from the official site that I seen, it showed his origin.
I would say let's wait until we actually get into that, because remember, even with all these early leaks and talks about that, none of it is set in stone until we actually get the final because a lot of it can change, because even weeks before, unless they're people who are actually at the early screenings of the final movie, that we're not going to get anything definitive.
Absolutely.
Hey, listen, they made Star-Lord hold Daddy a planet. So
well, I mean,
and Daddy was the planet. Wasn't
yeah,
he
was Ego in the original comics. Star-Lord, and when he joined the Guardians, was a grizzled old vet with lots of dark humor. He wasn't the young guy he was, and he wasn't. Well, he wasn't son of Ego, the Living Planet. He was. But the way that they tied in him to Ego, the Living Planet, was really well done, as well as the fact that Star-Lord was actually was part Celestial. That part was true, and in a lot of aspects. So the way that they redid it was perfectly fine, because it still paid homage, as well as making those changes necessary to add new dynamics to the characters, and it works.
They made it believable. They made it more believable.
Exactly, and the way that they showed Ego throughout the movie made it believable, because we saw Star-Lord's mom at the beginning of the movie. She was with Ego, and then when he's being chased, we see Ego arrive and kind of talk about it.
Right, now he was able to turn himself into an actual person.
Yeah, how he was able to create his humanoid seeds. Yeah,
right. Then it showed the planet. It actually showed his face on the planet when they showed. I was like, okay, now they actually giving the, to give you a little Easter egg right there for the comic books, because like the way the planet turned in a certain angle, it showed his face on the planet. I was like, okay,
exactly. He is actually the face, but they're in the comics too. We've seen that he makes those projections, those humanoid pieces of him that go out into the universe. So the fact that the way that they read it was very well done, because it still pays homage to the way that the comics are, which is the great aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm hyped for Black Panther, and I cannot wait for that fucking movie to come out.
Yeah, I really can't wait.
It's amazing. I'm more excited for that. Yeah, I'm more excited for Black Panther than I am Infinity War in some ways. Like, that's how crazy it is.
That's me right now.
Yeah, dude. I'm more hyped for Black Panther.
And I agree with that, because of the one, Black Panther is probably the biggest thing, because it can set up a lot of boundaries for what's going to come in the future, but it's also the closest. We're only a month away, whereas we're still 4 months away from Infinity War. So it's easier to be hyped for Black Panther than it is for Infinity War.
Not even so much me, because I'm not even thinking about the date. Even though I got my tickets already pre-ordered, that movie just it draws to me more. I look at that movie every time I see the trailers. I'm just like, damn, like I can't wait for that, dude. Even if it wasn't a month away, I must not. Even last year when I first seen the first trailers, bro, I was just hyped for that. Even I watched the trailer after the Avengers, the new Avengers, and I was still more hyped for Black Panther.
Like, I'm literally itching to see Black Panther. I haven't been this excited for a movie in a very long time.
Yeah.
Me too, bro.
I get excited for a lot of movies, but Black Panther has me.
I really haven't been this hyped since like Age of Ultron. So yeah, I'm definitely.
Oh god.
I've never been this hyped since I was going to see like the very first Mortal Kombat.
I was hyped on that old man Logan. So,
yeah.
It was pretty good. But like, I was still on the fence, because I was like,
yeah, because it's Fox and everything, anyways.
Yeah.
But they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Hey, no lie, by the end, at the end of that movie, dude, I was just like bawling because it had me.
I almost cried during that. I was like,
man. Even though this isn't very gaming related, all I like to say is people are complaining about that new God of War, but I gotta say, if you like Logan, I wouldn't complain about that God of War until you at least play it.
Exactly.
Because I mean, shit, you're going in a similar direction.
Yeah. I mean, at this point for me, it's just a little nitpick, and it's probably a little more cinematic, but I'm still going to enjoy it.
Yep.
I'm still going to enjoy the game.
Now, with that being said, in April, we have some big things coming out, because that's going to start the new anime season for us. But May is going to be a packed month for movies alone, because May 4th, we get Infinity War. Finally, 10 years building up to that, which is going to be phenomenal to see everyone together again for probably one of the biggest movies besides that. Then 2 weeks later, they actually moved it up, that we're going to get on the 18th in May. We're going to be getting Deadpool 2 originally from its June release.
Is that a smart idea? Put them close to each other.
Well,
Hey,
here's the thing that was coming out on it is because the week after that, on the 25th, we're getting the Han Solo movie. And as far as we know, it's still coming out despite a lot of
the fuck about Han Solo the movie. Like I just
They're trying to kill it before it releases. They want to kill it before it releases.
Well, here, you say that, Neth, but I want to point out, despite the fact that even like Rogue One got hate, that the Star Wars movies were still holding strong into their second and third weeks. So they don't want to compete with money because they're both coming out. Because now
no, there's but Solo in particular, there's a lot of like negative press going around. Like that movie might not be good.
But you realize
but they want it out there by itself with no competition.
Yeah.
So it ain't good.
Yeah, I get that.
Ain't nothing else to go see. So what you gonna go see?
Exactly.
and about to go out there and ball.
But for me, I'm not feeling the best about Star Wars because I'm just one of those guys who didn't particularly care for The Last Jedi, but we're not going to get into that right now. It's too much of a concerned topic.
Mm-hmm.
But with everything...
That's a podcast by itself.
Yeah. But with everything that coming around Deadpool 2, especially with the Fox acquisition for Disney, that a lot of the Fox movies and projects are still in development. They're not being affected. They're not being affected. They actually pushed back the New Mutants into February of 2019 by a few months to make sure that it's not close to with Deadpool and competing that way. And I'm excited for New Mutants. I do like the horror.
I gotta say that got delayed so much.
I think that's gonna be really dope. I think that
I really do. Yeah,
I agree too. And knowing that Macy Williams is going to be Wolfsbane, I think she's playing. I'm excited for that because I like where they're going with the New Mutants. I do like that aspect, and I'm glad that they're giving a little bit of shine to some of the other characters. I know they pushed back.
Speaking of Fox, though, do you guys think that Gambit movie is going to be canceled? Because I think they lost another director.
Here's the thing. No, they moved it back to June of 2019. But here's the thing. It's
been in production for so long.
Here's the thing, though, and I agree. I do see where you're coming from that it might be canceled. However, the story is set in check. They have the cast and everything else. It's the fact of no director wants to be tied to the project. That's the issue that they're running into.
Gambit is a little too critical if they're gonna like introduce like
Sinister. Yeah, like I don't want him to be messed up. He's actually a really good character that was never spotlighted.
I do really like.
It's a good way for them to introduce Sinister. It's a real good way to introduce Sinister.
Yeah, and I love Gambit. Gambit was probably always one of my favorite characters in the X-Men, just because I liked his power, being able to cause psionic explosions, and he used the playing cards along with his style with the bow staff.
He used to be way stronger until he lobotomized himself. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and speaking of the Fox things, we all know that that Wolverine probably isn't going to be returning with that same actor. They're probably going to recast Wolverine.
Yeah.
So do you think the first introduction of Wolverine might be Wolverine versus Hulk like it was in the comics?
Oh God, please!
Like just imagine that.
Please do it. That'd be a dope setup.
Exactly, and that would be perfect, especially since Mark Ruffalo does not want to give up the Hulk mantle. Like I can't see, and like he came into the Hulk role really well and has done phenomenal with it as Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and I love it. And him going up against a new actor for the role of Logan would be phenomenal.
Imagine Tony Stark being called by Professor X, excuse me.
Like I heard a scenario made by a fan, a comic book cast, and they said, like, what if Professor Xavier, he felt like a strong entity coming from Canada. Yeah. So they go up to Canada to check it out, and he forever hasn't the Hulk with them. I don't know why. And then that's how they meet Wolverine.
It's gotta be rated M. This would be a rated R movie, though.
Oh, it has to be rated R.
It needs to be. Has to be.
I don't think Disney will do that, though.
No. Disney's already said. Kevin Feige has said multiple times he's willing to do rated R. They're not even altering Deadpool at all.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
This is what Disney doing. They just not gonna put that cast.
Yeah, because we have to think about Marvel's.
Cast on.
Yeah, they not gonna put that Disney cast on that music in the beginning.
Yeah, because
but they're definitely they are still keeping the Marvel intro, and I believe they're gonna do it through one of their other studios that they use for rated R movies that's still affiliated with Disney. They're just definitely gonna not put the Disney logo on it. However, that's still great that they're not gonna interfere with it too much.
Yeah,
especially if they're gonna keep it over.
Marvel Studios is Marvel Studios. Like Disney, I mean, one time I think they tried putting their hand over Age of Ultron, and that ended up terrible. So they're just gonna try to keep away and let them do their own thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it's the right decision to do. It's definitely what needs to be done so that way they don't get too involved with it and cause things to go all over the place.
Yeah, just let them do what they do, and it'll be all right.
Exactly. And then, like, following suit with Age of Ultron and Ant-Man, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out in July.
I heard it's supposed to be definitely like multiverse theory in that movie.
Ant-Man is like the miracle character. Like, who cared about Ant-Man and how he's pretty cool?
I do know.
You know what?
I do know.
Chuck, you talked about this as well as so did 108 Dragon, that Ant-Man was great, but y'all were shocked because it wasn't Hank Pym. They were going with Scott Lang.
Right.
But that he turned around and actually did really well with it.
Right, and they made it like it's he the present day, the Ant-Man, and I think that it's not the multiverse, it's the microverse. They're gonna be probably discuss
Okay.
Discovering.
Yeah.
Hey, minimum carnage, bro. You think someday you can get there?
See,
But,
and here's the great thing about that is that when with all the issues that were coming through with the first Ant-Man film, because people were kind of worried when the director walked away, or the screen.
that director was an asshole.
Yeah, the director walked off and was also writing it. Paul Rudd and one of the other producers wrote the script, and it was well done. Like, that movie actually surprised me, and I loved it. Paul Rudd is a great comedian, and he added that right amount of humor to Ant-Man.
I like that movie more than Age of Ultron, to be honest with you.
Same here, man. Same here.
I didn't hate
Same here. Age of Ultron was trash.
It was trash.
Yeah, I ain't like
There's no denying it.
Yep.
But yeah.
I thought Ultron was a joke. Everybody took turns beating his ass. He was a joke, dog. They took turns whooping that fool's ass, bro.
It's the fact that they made him look serious in the trailers, and he wasn't that at all in the movie.
Exactly.
His acting was on point, but that fool was just trash, bro.
Bro, I was expecting so many Pinocchio tie-ins, but they did like one and cut it off there. I was like, come on, y'all. Damn, this is your property now. Use it. Shit.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I still the issue with it is that it wasn't the Ultron we know. Ultron was this ultra calculated, multi-creating super robot, this super AI that was prepared.
He's the Brainiac of Marvel, bro.
See, the thing is, I'm fine with it because I was expecting a dumbed down version of Ultron, but what we got was just really, this is the best y'all could have done. Like,
yeah, and again, as Neth pointed out, that was because Disney was trying to get heavily involved at that point, and then they realized
nearly killed it.
Yeah,
like, the critics it was like The Last Jedi. It was like The Last Jedi. Where a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Ultron's fucked up forever.
Thanos, that's all I have to say, because Thanos is that dude. And
the last, y'all see that? He like,
what happened?
Full colors not first. He was like,
yeah. They keep changing his color.
He was that dark purple, then like dark.
He looked the best at that.
Yeah, and then he was kind of like that deep purple. Now he's that like light pink purple.
Right. After a while. Afterwards, it's gonna look like Ron Perlman after a second, man. I'm telling you, he's gonna look like that, man.
No, like a lot of people make the joke is that if you look at Thanos in the Infinity War trailer, it's like a mix of Josh Brolin and Bruce Willis together.
Oh,
a little bit.
If you look at his face when he walks out, it looks like Bruce Willis right out of Die Hard.
That's up.
Man, you guys can't roast my boy Thanos like that. Speaking of which, I see this on the topic, and I just want to ask the panel, what the hell do you think about this? What the hell is with the Venom, guys? Like, what is this movie? I've heard so much weird stuff about it. Is this going to be a part of the MCU? What the hell is Venom?
So, this is something I'm excited about because I posted right there for y'all to take a look at the first screenshot. That's Tom Hardy.
Eddie Brock.
Yeah. It's Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, but if you look at it, it doesn't look like Tom Hardy at all. Like, he's really into the role. I had to take a double take when I saw him as Eddie Brock, and I'm just like, whoa, that's Tom Hardy. It's phenomenal what he went through to play that character. And the details that are coming out now about Venom is actually that the storyline that they're going with is not gonna, it's in the Spider-Man universe that Sony wants to do. However, there's still rumors, ifs, ands, or if it's gonna be in the MCU, but that's still up in the air. But they're not gonna make any mention of Spider-Man. Yeah, they're not gonna make any mention to Spider-Man. They're gonna leave it as its own film, but it's gonna show Eddie Brock with the Venom symbiote, and it's gonna follow the storyline for Lethal Protector and this Planet of the Symbiote storyline, which introduces a lot of the other symbiotes, like of Carnage is said to be in the movie, as well as a couple of the others symbiotes that we know.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird though, because like
things already sound oversaturated.
Like, how would Venom have like those Spider-Man traits? Like, that's what I don't get.
Without Spider-Man being mentioned or anything like that, because that's the whole point of the symbiote. The symbiote was the host of Spider-Man for so long that it like developed this power, and when it got on
remember that was only for Venom, but that was never the point for Carnage.
Carnage is his offspring, and even working on Supra Gee, I always thought that it would be a cool idea because Marvel has this almost set up where they could do a Secret Wars storyline. And how he got the suit.
That's what the Planet of the Symbiotes is doing. Is that the story that they're following, like especially with Lethal Protector, is that they're going to capture Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote, and take the symbiote and extract the symbiote seed that's within within Venom, and create the other symbiotes. That's the storyline that they're following, because that's from
like how did the symbiote and all that.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's a problem with that. I'm just saying, like, how do they even address the whole symbiote and it being Eddie Brock without mentioning Spider-Man? That shouldn't even be possible.
That's the part that's still going to be up in the air with that. But like I said, but with everything else that they're doing, that's what
I like the ideas behind it. I like the actors they chose, and even like Venom, like the concept art looks really good actually. I just think it's out of place. Like,
it's too damn early.
I think it's too early. I think it's too early. Had they? I mean,
they have all the right parts, but it's in the wrong place.
That's Sony.
But hey, you know what? Who knows? Maybe they'll retcon and make it work somehow. Maybe like this place.
Hey, what about if they do it after Amazing Spider-Man? That storyline with the Amazing Spider-Man, but you still got to use Spider-Man, but just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, insinuate that he that's how he got the suit without actually just saying, like, you know, Spider-Man, he didn't say great power comes great responsibility, and you know his Uncle Ben did. They insinuated it, but they didn't actually say it, so it wasn't. So you wasn't tired of hearing it, so you just know that, okay, because it was on Spider-Man and it ended up on him. He ended up going through his little beef, and now he in a point of in his life or his journey where he passed the whole race thing against Spider-Man, and he doing his own adventures now. So they could kind of like brush up on that, as in he already had a suit, already in the suit, so it could kind of sit away and then just kind of reference stuff without actually name dropping. That's the only way I could see him doing something like that.
My issue is, what the hell is going to be doing the whole movie? Spider-Man's not going to be in it. Because that's what y'all said, right? Spider-Man's not going to be in the movie from what they reported.
That's what they.
From what they were saying. Yeah.
So what the hell is he going to be doing? Like, just chill on rooftops and shit? Talking about Venom.
No, as far as we know, is that Carnage, like I said, Carnage is in it, as well as some of the other smaller symbiotes that were created during the Lethal Protector. So we'll see things like Scream, Lasher, Phage, maybe Riot and Agony. But I know
all that's really cool. But like, perhaps they're thinking like, if this movie's a hit, if it's good, we can put it in the MCU and maybe say this movie takes place in the future or something like that. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do it,
or they could do it as a side story that's going on in the background, while Spidey's helping out during the Infinity War.
I need my black suit Spider-Man, man. I need that black suit Spider-Man.
Here's the thing. As much as I want that, the Sam Raimi films left me with such a bad taste for the symbiote suit. As much as I love this symbiote suit for Spider-Man,
it's not even that, but it just needs for me to make sense, like how Venom would have that cool Spider-Man logo on him. I would have those spider-like powers and all that.
Right.
Yeah, I understand, but just one of those things that's going to be.
Or maybe you could do it out of order. Maybe the symbiote comes to him just later. I don't know. Maybe Spider-Man gets captured and they put the symbiote on him for some reason. Who knows?
This movie has to be in the future. It just has to be.
Yeah, just said it in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
like I think Disney's very unsure. Like, if this turns out good, they'll put it in the MCU. But if it doesn't, then it wouldn't matter anyways.
It's just too damn early. That's the issue I got with it. Like,
well, you have to realize Sony's been working on this for a while because they didn't think it would give up Spider-Man.
Yeah, and here's the thing is that now we've seen them redo some characters. Like, I think if any of the villains, especially for Spider-Man, needs a redo, is that Venom. Venom is one of the most iconic villains for Spider-Man alongside, Green Goblin and a few
such a villain,
others.
he became a good guy. That's how awesome he is.
Well, he's always been like an anti-hero. Yeah. Because the thing about Venom is that you got to remember is that the Venom symbiote was obsessed with Spider-Man after it bonded with Peter. And when Peter finally realized what the symbiote was doing and ripped it off and got rid of it, that Eddie Brock at this point was already ruined by Peter at the Daily Bugle. So when this Venom symbiote found Eddie Brock and bonded with him, their obsession together over Peter and Spider-Man drew Venom to be obsessed with Spider-Man and always wanting to be better. That's why
I got a question.
And that's the thing. How are they going to display it in this movie? Spider-Man's not going to be in it. They can't display it as Venom.
Who was making Venom?
I said that.
I don't know what the director is, but Sony, we all know that.
Yeah.
I don't know who the director is though.
Yeah,
because here's the thing. They thought there was gonna be like Andrew Garfield's like universe and everything, and who knows? Maybe Marvel will do a multi-universe thing and somehow tie it in somehow. I don't know. Is there a kind of
I don't know. I think they should wait like give Spider-Man another 2 movies and then bring his movie out, dude. Like,
okay, so the director is Ruben Fleischer, who did Zombieland and Gangster Squad.
Okay, those are actually decent movies. Those are decent movies.
I was about to say that's a decent movie. I like Zombieland a lot.
Oh, Zombieland was great. I love that one. And Gangster Squad actually wasn't.
Actually, I like Gangster Squad too. I think that's a kind of
Bill fucking Murray.
They're going to have to do a time skip or something.
Yeah, like we said, it's still up in the air with everything. But these are some of the early rumors coming out about the story. They already confirmed that Venom and Carnage are in it. I don't know if they said anything about Toxin, but they did state that it is going to be part Lethal Protectors, part Planet of the Symbiotes. So we are going to see them make the smaller symbiotes that came from that did come from Venom.
The Fantastic Four on me, like just let the movie at least be decent or something. Like I don't want Venom to be killed again in front of my eyes. Like I saw with Spider-Man 3 as a kid. That was horrifying.
Hey, Fantastic Four was a good movie.
No, I'm talking about the new one.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be a good movie. I should say that because he was trying to make it more of a horror movie. Then they gutted the movie at the end, so we didn't get to see the full movie.
Yeah, they really did, and that's such a shame. And Nev, I know you wanted to talk about this. You don't want them to. You want them to drop the Dark Phoenix movie.
Like, I don't know. Like, what's the point in even doing it at this point? Because, like, it's all going to be non-canon. It doesn't sound very good. And a lot of people are like, eh. Like, there's no excitement for this movie at all.
Money at it, so they like, fuck you. We're going to go after it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no. You can't just cancel a movie because there's contracts and send everything. Like, you have to release it. Unless there's something goes
I don't know. I mean, they can release something else. They can use the same cast and just do something else. Because
but there's a lot of work already done on it.
Here's the thing.
Oh, that's true.
A lot of people are after Apocalypse. A lot of people are hating the First Class universe.
Trash.
Apocalypse was trash. Yes. However, here's the thing. Here's the First Class universe with the tie-in and close out from Days of Future Past and then closing it all up. I like the First Class universe. I like where they're going with it. I like the cast for the next generation of X-Men.
Mm-hmm. I do.
The thing is, it's too damn early to do the Dark Phoenix. They haven't set up Sophie Turner yet in the role of Jean Grey to explain the Phoenix Force before you go into the Dark Phoenix. Because
that's just like years later on.
Exactly. But if people don't understand why she's a powerful telepath like she is and why she's able to control the Phoenix Force as long as she does, going immediately into her meltdown phase with the Dark Phoenix is going to make no damn sense.
That's Fox for you.
Hey, let them do their thing.
Here's the thing: is I don't want them to kill the universe. Like I like Sophie Turner as Jean Grey.
Sorry, dead.
And well, no, yes and no, but they have the time to fix it up with a lot of the new actors and everything that's coming up for this universe. And I know that there's still talks now with the Fox acquisition going through and everything, how they're gonna tie the universe.
Bloody
the
man,
thing is,
I gotta stop you, bro. Hold on, Bloody. Sometimes when a dog is very sick, you gotta take it to the back of the shed.
No,
you gotta aim at it. Gotta let the trigger go, bro. I'm sorry. This universe is dead. You need to get rid of it.
You do not yell at me.
You gotta old yeller it. I'm sorry, Bloody.
Oh shit.
The only person
You know what? I think it's. I don't think it's completely dead.
Magneto. That's the only person.
Yeah. I think it's salvageable, because I don't think it's dead. I mean,
hold on. Even if you make it good, wouldn't you be sad that it's gone anyways? Like, what's the point?
The thing is I want them to keep the universe and the characters. I want them to get rid of the Dark Phoenix movie right now. It's too early.
It was really too like inspiring characters in the first class anyway.
Yeah, but I like with what they introduced for the cast for the new X-Men and Apocalypse. Besides the fact that movie was trash because they didn't do Apocalypse right at all, the cast that they have is really well done for the new X-Men generation. That's the thing. Is that but they need to know what they're doing. Like they've already forced storylines too many. Like with Days of Future Past, that was 3 different storylines all together in one movie. It was all over the place, but it worked. Apocalypse didn't. Dark Phoenix is too soon into the new generation for them to do this. They already ruined it back with X3 way back in the day. They don't need to repeat it until it's properly set up for it. That's my point.
Look, man, you can dress up your sick old dog, but eventually that dog's got to go. So you got to take it to the back of that shed, grab that gun.
It's already dead.
Hey, you saying just end it, huh? Just end it.
Oh my god.
Just let it die.
Neff, you're not going near my dog. I'm just saying, you're not going near my dog.
This is the end. Just take Magneto and probably one more person, then we good.
I don't know.
Yeah, fucking having me kill everybody by accident and reboot the whole series.
I don't know. I think
man.
They can salvage.
Yeah, I'm talking about killing dogs. I think we should end this.
You're horrible. All right.
Yeah, they do need to recast everybody.
Yeah. And now, so I know me and you have been talking about this and been all over it. Devilman Crybaby
is the shit. The shit.
Yes, amazing. It is. Has anyone here else been watching Devilman Crybaby or even know of it?
I know of it. Haven't started it yet.
I'm disappointed in all y'all.
Wait.
I mean,
are you more disappointed in us, or are you more disappointed in Dragon Ball Super?
Shit.
Oh.
Gosh.
That's hard. That's a hard one. You know, last episode it helped. So.
Yeah, but that's because Takahashi was doing the animation, right?
Takahashi was there.
It was pretty trash. I'll give it that, but still trash.
Yeah, it's pretty trash. Well, I don't know. I watched anime AJ, like Soulking, you know, always talks about with me. And the people who are going to be animating this upcoming month do not look good at all. Like, I'm kind of worried. I think the animation is going to take another nosedive.
Yeah, I only watched when with my man Takahashi in there.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get back to Devilman. That's what we need to talk about.
Triple Cup, what are your thoughts on Devilman, man?
I ain't never see it yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
What?
All right. Oh, man. Everyone, quick thing. Neff had to leave. He had a little bit thing coming up. And I know Supra Gee is saying that he's got to get ready to dip out a little bit early. So make sure you give them some love and follow them down and below. You'll be able to hit them up on Twitter and let them know, thank them for being out here tonight. But so Devilman, me and you have been all over it.
Man, I have been thinking about Devilman for like the past week.
Bro, if you need to summarize Devilman Crybaby, how would you summarize it for people?
It's hard. It's really hard. It's gory. It's horny, and it's all over the place. But I love it. It's real good.
If I had to give it, it is beautiful. Rough 80s animation gore porn. It's colorful. It's It's raunchy, it's gory, it's everything that you'd want.
Yeah, that's a perfect description right there.
Because as they say, there's anime titties everywhere, but the story is so well done. And me and you know about this, that the Devilman movie actually came out back in the 80s during that time of animation. And that in the first few episodes, they actually did a great job of recapping that movie and then continuing the story of Devilman Crybaby. And
yeah, they did a real good job. I appreciated everything that they put into the show.
yeah, and it's phenomenal the way that it is, like, and it really exemplifies what was during that time when things were just all over the place. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of how Neon Genesis was, that very rough style art, but it was just bloody all the way around, and it was phenomenal. And it exemplifies.
Back in the day when anime was first introduced, they were just trying to do their own thing. They were just trying to. It was all over the place back in the day with anime. So like, but some of it worked.
Yeah, and it works really well for that because of the way that the colors and everything blends in, even with, especially in the first episode when they're in at the what's it called, the Sabbath, when they're at that party, and you see just how the mix of the way that they were drawing the bodies from the colors and how everyone was at that place, and it was just showing everything, especially with all the topless dancers. You couldn't, they showed the body, but at the same time it was still very light. It wasn't like soft edges and more rounded out like it is on more modern day animation, like we see.
Yeah, it was real nice. It was like they added like a black light color. Everything was glowing. It looked real good.
It was phenomenal. Yeah, exactly. And I know you would appreciate that because I know you do animation for a living.
Yeah, I loved it. Like it was a lot of scenes where it was so simple. You were looking at like, if they just moving a still frame, but it still looks good. Sometimes it just a person just standing there with the mouth moving, but it still looks good. It looks very fluid, and I loved it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was loving about it. And the characters themselves are great. And I know me and you were actually talking that you recognize the rapper from the first episode as a big Japanese rapper, the one who's walking down the street.
Oh yeah, like when I first seen him rapping, I was like, yo, this is pretty dope, because usually in anime they just doing a yo yo yo, and it's cheesy. But this person, he actually did a real good job of showing their culture with hip hop. I really appreciated those segments of freestyles.
Yeah, exactly. And I was loving that, and I just loved just seeing the way that they all interacted, and it was kind of tying all up, and then just everything. And I know we were making jokes about the people who still do the anime run, and now you said they're not gonna be doing the Naruto anymore. They're gonna be doing the Devilman.
Oh yeah, the Devilman. Yeah.
That super low crawl run.
Akira was, he's the GOAT, man.
He is. Oh, it's not some other level. But bro, with the success of this, do you think that we might see Devilman Lady?
I think there's a high possibility, because Netflix, I think, the only place it could have did good, because it definitely wouldn't have did good on TV. It wouldn't have did good on any other streaming service, because they would have censored everything that was shown in that anime.
Yeah, and knowing the storyline for Devilman Lady, like, if you thought Devilman Crybaby was already all over the place, like, Devilman Lady is that kind of story, and all that gore porn, like, turned up to 11. Like, there's a lot of scenes that's where, like, straight monster sex. Like, it's gonna be more out there, like crazy, but I think it would still do really well, because the Devilman series is so phenomenal, but it wasn't given enough attention. Like, I love that they did the movie way back in the day. However, it had no no touch since then. And we had stuff like Berserk back in the day that really kind of brought forward that gory style. And even we saw some come back with a lot of recent shows, like we saw with Akame Got Kill and a few others. You know, I think it's perfect for them to bring it back.
Like that, yeah. They
So,
did a real good job. Hold on, I'll be right back.
all right.
But yeah, I'm going to check it out tonight because I haven't started it yet.
You should. It's 10 episodes. It's on Netflix. So if you got that, you're good to watch it.
All right, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do tonight too.
Yeah, man. Trust me. You watch the first episode, like, dude, I'm telling you, it'll have you hooked. Like it blew my mind with the visuals, the storytelling, and everything. It's just a wild ride, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. What is it about? Because y'all are traveling.
The story revolves around a boy named Akira, and he gets caught up in a war between humans and devils by an old friend of his called Rio, who is a super intelligent scientist who finds out that devils exist in the world, and he takes him on this journey to go find devils. And turns out that Akira actually is part devil, and actually probably the most powerful devil of them all, the most brutal, inhumane human devil like hybrid, because the devils require human vessels to exist.
Well, like, that sounds. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's
watch it by yourself.
Oh, definitely, man.
That has some Supernatural meets Constantine.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, definitely. And now the last thing I kind of want to talk about is we were talking about this a little bit, is that Pop Team Epic is some crazy, hilarious shit that has come out. Now, if you don't know what Pop Team Epic is, basically it's these two characters known as Papaco and Pipame that have been really big mascots and memes for the anime community for the longest time. And they are used in every sort of meta joke, any sort of pop culture reference, making fun of absolutely everything that you can think of. And they got an actual anime for it. And the anime is just a sheer complete WTF the entire time. And it'll have you laughing nonstop because it's just so stupid, but it's so great.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out, so I'm probably gonna check it out when I get off of work.
Yeah, they have the biggest thing about this that was really interesting is when it was announced that it was getting an anime that was starting up here now with some of the winter season finishing up leading into the spring here in April. This alongside the start of Dark Overlord 2, that every anime streaming service you can think of has rights to stream Pop Team Epic. Crunchyroll is streaming it, Funimation streaming it, High Dive is streaming it, Anime Strike is streaming it. Every big service has rights to be able to stream this. So there's not a place where you cannot watch the show.
I'm watching a clip of it right now. What the fuck is this shit?
I'm telling you, bro, it's just so stupid, but it's great.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's definitely over the top.
Yeah, and what's funny is that the literal tagline is that these girls are cute, rude, and kind of fucking crude, and they swear like sailors, and like the voices, if you listen to them, are dudes. It's dudes doing the voice for these girls, and it's just so dumb.
That sounds like that sounds crazy. You probably be tripping out and watching something like that.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, they have 2 episodes out right now as of today, and if you watch it, like, you will be laughing nonstop from it.
And it's on Crunchyroll, you said, right?
Yeah, it's on Crunchyroll, Funimation, Anime Strike, High Dive, anything you can think of. A lot of the services are streaming it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but there's not a single service to where you cannot see this because it is essentially anime memes.
The joke of the jokes.
Yeah, that's all of the jokes you could think of.
Okay.
And it's great because it started out as an online manga, or a 4-koma as it's also called, which is a 4-panel comic, and it just took off from there. So
Yeah, you're gonna have me on night long. I'm glad
I'm
you
telling.
shared it.
I'm telling you, you watch those 2 episodes, you will be laughing, dying from it before you switch over to Devilman Crybaby and be tripping out on the color, like kaleidoscope LSD trip you're going to be taking.
Oh wow. Basically gonna look good too on this on my TV. I'm gonna get right up under the
I'm telling you, bro, like if you watch it in HDR on a 4K, like the colors just they pop, bro. Like it is some next level kind of animation.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
I need some more Devilman in my life, man. Shit.
I know, bro, that those 10 episodes went by too fast.
They're 30-minute episodes or they're 45 minutes?
They're 24 minutes.
Yeah, like 23, 24.
Yeah, so they're like 30 minutes, but they take out since there's no commercials. They're about 24.
Right. Oh yeah, they ain't bad. They ain't bad. I'll probably run through that in no time then.
Yeah,
I did it in one night. I was like, damn it, I watched everything. Wow, and then I was like crushed. Like my heart was broken. Like like the ending will fuck you up. It's that simple. Like, I was like, oh my
For Devilman
god.
Crybaby?
Yeah, Devilman Crybaby.
Okay.
Yeah.
It broke my heart.
Yeah.
I was just sitting in bed, just staring into nowhere. Like, what? Did I just watch this? What the fuck just happened?
Damn.
It's phenomenal. It's some next level stuff, bro. I'm telling you.
I was like, yeah, you check my Twitter. I just been reposting nothing but Devilman, really.
Yeah, you have. You've been posting it like nonstop for like the past week.
Crazy.
All right. Well, it's been a wonderful time having everyone here. And I do want to thank everyone who's watching right now for joining us. And I want to make a big shout out here to Triple Cut for coming in down here on the show.
Appreciate
Thanks
you for having
me
on here. Man, I had fun. I enjoyed myself, man. I see up, on here, you just got to get in there. I mean, I like that, though, Keep everything flowing.
Yeah. We love to talk here, man. We keep it all over the place. We love it. So thanks for joining us. Of course, definitely check him out at the Vibration Podcast. You can find his information below. But everyone, y'all take it easy and peace out and check you later.
Deuce.
Are y'all taking good?
Yeah.